Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fan the Flame podcast with me, your host, Robert Stevenson. Here at Fan the Flames, we believe that everybody has a spark, a potential, and it's our role, our job to support you turning that spark into a roaring fire. And I always wonder, what is a roaring fire for you? What's the thing that you want to achieve, that you want to do, that you want to become, that we can support you on here at Fan the Flames? And recently, I've been doing a bit of reflection. Some of you may have seen from my social media posts that last Sunday, I sat down to think about my week ahead. Now, it's something that I often do, what's coming up this week? What do I need to prepare for? Where do I need to do some work? Am I going to be out? And, Sunday's a great time just to think about the week ahead, especially thinking about it in a way that brings an energy, a positivity. So it's not that kind of blues feeling where you're going, oh, what's going on this week? What's ahead for me? But it's more about, okay, what are the adventures that lay ahead for me this week? And while I was doing that, I sort of went, oh, and what have I done last week? And then I went, what have I done for the last couple of weeks and the last month or so? And then I went, well, what's been going on for the last year? And what's been going on for the last 2 years? And in that moment, by reflecting on the journey so far, I was able to see all the amazing things that I had done, and I was able to celebrate them. Because if we don't reflect, if we don't pay attention to what we're doing and what we have done, we can't recognize it and we can't celebrate it. And sometimes we can get, I guess, very British in our, well, we just get on with it and perhaps maybe a bit stoic. But, isn't it great to celebrate your achievements? Isn't it great to celebrate what you've accomplished and to actually pay attention to what you've accomplished? Because it's really easy not to notice it. It's really easy just to think about, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? We can get a bit stuck in the hustle, in the grind, in the moving forward. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing, great, do it, make it work. And take time to reflect, take time to celebrate, take time to reward yourself so that all of that hard work that you're putting in, has meaning, means something for you, as well as the meaning that it might create for others. And when you reflect, you can also begin to see the direction that you're heading in. I remember years ago when I was working with some coaches around, how do you niche? And I remember hearing, what was his name? Something Morgan Jr. I'm sure somebody will know his name. I want to say James, but it isn't James. Something Morgan Jr. And he spoke about this idea of niching by reflecting. So he said, just go out and coach everybody and anybody, and then look back and see, well, who are you attracting? Who's joining you? Who wants to be your coachee, your client? And maybe that's the area that you can niche in, because sometimes we get so consumed in where we think we should be heading or where we might want to go that we don't pay attention to where we're actually going, where things are actually lining up for us. And in reflecting, we're able to do that. So I was able to kind of pay attention and notice the kind of directions that I'm going in without even recognizing that's the direction I'm going. And by doing that, I'm able to pour more energy into that direction. I'm able to show up more fully in those spaces. So if you reflect, I wonder, where might you show up more fully? Where might your directions be on that horizon when you take a look back? And it's not to say that we just have to look backwards and get stuck in the past, because, there were some challenges in the past, but those challenges were useful because they propelled me forward. They gave me the opportunity to go out into the world and explore what is possible. So what's possible for you? What might you want to explore? And perhaps in that reflection and celebration, there is the gratitude. There is the, what are you grateful for? Who are you grateful for? And grateful for yourself, grateful that you've shown up, how you've shown up. And perhaps in that kind of trio of reflecting and celebrating and being grateful and gratitude, you can start to really feed your own flame. You can start to really pay attention to who you are and how you're showing up. And you can start to go, right, so what are the other ingredients that I want to add to my fire to really make it bubble and boil? I know fires don't bubble and boil, but if you're the cauldron, what are the ingredients that you need to pour in, that you need to add, and you need to stir and mix to really create your flame, to really show up in this world, to do the things that you want to do. So my reflections have given me a load of energy, and they've also given me a little bit of, what is that? Is it satisfaction? No, it's not quite satisfaction. I guess it's certainty. Is it certainty? I'm not quite sure what that word is that it's given me, but it's given me a feeling of a groundedness. There's the word I'm looking for. It's given me a feeling of groundedness. I feel grounded in who I am. I feel grounded in what I'm doing. I feel grounded and reassured in the choices that I'm making. And from that place of foundation and strength and groundedness, I can step forward, I can step up, I can step into. So what might that be for you? What might you use to ground you, to hold you in place? And I recognize that it isn't just my reflections that do that. Of course not. They're part of it, but it's also my coach that helps me to do that. It's also the people that I surround myself with that help me to do that. It's the people that I'm inspired by that help me to do that. So what are all the ingredients that you might need to pull together, that you might want to reach out to pay attention to notice, so that you can add those ingredients to create the sparks and the flames and the fire that you want to create in the world, that can allow you to really show up so beautifully and so authentically in this world in which we live. And it's not all about stuff. As I think about that, I'm starting to think about, sometimes we get a bit caught up in, right, I've got to talk to everybody, I've got to hustle, I've got to move, I've got to do all of these things to create my flame. And yeah, there's stuff that we've got to do, but there's also, who are we being? Like, who do we be in this? How do we hold space for ourselves? How do we have space held for us so we can really tune in to our inner guidance system? And your inner guidance system might be, your values. It might be your purpose. It might be your flame that you're heading towards, or that you're creating or growing. But whatever that is for you, how do you spend time to explore that, to allow it to be, so that you can move forward and you can achieve the goals, the outcomes, the desires that you want in this world? And I recognize that for me, taking time to recognize what I have been doing has helped me to move forward in what I continue to do and how I continue to show up. And one of the things that I want to do as well is do some more of the visualization work. I love metaphors, and I love the imagining of what is possible, or what might be possible. What is possible? What might be possible? And so I'm going to start doing some visualizations, and I might start recording those as well, so that I can share them. So they might be of use, they might be of value for you. Perhaps a visualization around how we can reflect. So maybe we'll do it now. Why wait to create it? Why not just do it now? Okay, so let's do that, right? Okay, so I haven't planned this. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I trust that it will work. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're able to, just get your feet flat on the ground, or maybe you're sitting cross-legged, whatever that is for you. Make sure you're sitting upright and take a beautiful in-breath and just let it go. and let all that tension go. Release the tension. Just let it be free and just breathe in and let go. Perhaps as you're breathing in, you're breathing in some beautiful white light that's just cleansing your system, and you're allowing that to go. And maybe you close your eyes and you continue to breathe, and you continue to let your tension go. And with your eyes closed, you perhaps just take a moment to rise out of yourself, rise out of this being that you're in right now, and look down on yourself. And perhaps behind you, you see your timeline going back into the distance. And as you glance along that timeline going back into the past, you can see all the amazing things that you have done. And as you go along that timeline into the past, you can gather them up. You can pick up all those amazing things that you've done. You can look at them. You can check them out. You can learn from them. And as you learn from them and you bring them and you gather all of that learning into your now, and you pour it into who you are, you accept it into your being, and you feel it filling you up. You feel that fuel on your fire, making it burn brightly. And perhaps you stay up there above for a moment and you look into your future. You see what is possible for you. You see what's out there on your horizon. And you just dial into that. Perhaps you go all the way into that future with that goal, with that dream, with that desire. And in that future, you feel it, you recognize it, you hear what people are saying about your achievement. You recognize what you've done to get there. Feel into it, sense into it. Look back at the steps that you've taken to get there. Pay attention to them. Notice them. And then as you come back to your now with all of that information about your future and all that resource from your past into your now, and just allow it to soak into your system. And just choose perhaps a step that you're going to take, or choose a direction that you're going to go into, and just maybe breathe that in, maybe have a little bit of a mantra for yourself, and then just let it all go. And then just come back to where we are right now. So you've got those resources of your past. You've got the resources of your future, the steps that you know that you've taken to get to where you want to be. And you allow all that information, all of that wisdom that's already in your system to exist, to be, and to support you as you move forward. And as always, if you want any help, if you want any support, I'm here. Just follow me on the socials, message me, connect with me, and I'm happy to support you as you move forward. I'm happy to fan your flame. So I'd love to hear how that helped you. I'd love to hear what visions you created or what steps you're going to take next. So drop them in the comments or share a private message with me. Whatever way you want to connect, feel free to do so. And I look forward to hearing from you and sharing more with you as we continue to fan those flames. So have a great day today, tomorrow, a great week, a great month, a great year. Remember to reflect, remember to celebrate, and remember to have gratitude for what you have achieved. This is Robert Stevenson signing out from Fan the Flame, saying have a great day today and every day, and I look forward